Hi, my dear friends. My name is Dr. Brodsky. I'm a GP. I practice NHS medicine and I practice holistic or anthroposophic medicine, both face-to-face and online via Zoom. I'm based in Sussex. So let us talk about surviving winter or flourishing in the winter. It's so important simply because the rates of depression are crazy through the roof every winter. And now it's COVID, it's even worse. So let me tell you a few little things that you can do to help yourself, your friends and your family feel amazing. Let us start with vitamin D. Vitamin D is the sunshine vitamin. We're all deficient in the winter, and a lot of us are deficient throughout the whole year because some of us do not undress, so we don't sunbathe, others burn so they can't sunbathe. And why is it important? What are the symptoms of vitamin D deficiency? The symptoms are exhaustion, aches and pains, and depression. You don't necessarily get all of them. Sometimes most people just get exhaustion, but that's bad enough because if we're exhausted, we're also depressed because we can't cope with life. Let's talk about sources of vitamin D. Sunshine. They talk about eggs and fish, but the truth is the amount of vitamin D in those products is too small to make any difference, so you can't rely on those sources. So we're left with either holidays, okay, and now it's been COVID, so not many of us have managed to get any holidays, and so a lot of us are profoundly deficient. So then we're left with supplements, and there are some supplements which are amazing, but I don't think all of them are amazing. So I have my favorite brand. I have no interest, I have no shares, no conflict of interest, but it's just a brand I know works and I recommend that brand. It's called Better You. It's a spray. Now, there are two types of doses. Well, there's a few types of doses, but we'll just make it simple and say two types of doses. So one type of dose is called maintenance. So this is when we actually have enough vitamin D. We came from holidays, we are brown, we're sun-based, and we can then start 1,000 units once a day. Now, if we come back from holidays ages ago, a few months, our body will have used all the vitamin D, we're deficient, and then we need a high dose before we go into maintenance dose. So I suggest a medium sort of dose, not too high, and I'll explain why in a minute. I suggest 3,000 units once a day for about 10 weeks, and then drop down to 1,000 units a day. So the brand that I like is actually a spray. It's called Better You. It works. There are several strengths. I suggest get the one where it says 1,000 units in one spray. It's easier to dose. So 3 sprays once a day, every day for 10 weeks, and then drop down to 1,000 units. And stay on that. Stay on that even during the summer if you're not sunbathing. If you're sunbathing bikini style, fair enough, don't use vitamin D at that time. But the minute it goes cold and you have to put your clothes back on, start vitamin D, 1,000 units once a day, so that you avoid deficiency. Why don't we want to take a high dose for a long time? Now, vitamin D, unfortunately, can cause poisoning if you take like a high dose. What I've just recommended is nowhere near any danger, so you're completely safe taking that dose. So like in the States, for example, you can get, and perhaps here too, you can get high doses like 20,000 units per capsule, for example. You don't want to be taking that high dose for a long time, simply because we don't pee this vitamin D out because it's fat soluble. We store it in fatty tissues, and once our levels are too high, then we get high calcium levels, we can get kidney stones if it goes on for a long period of time. Symptoms are very similar to deficiency in vitamin D: aches and pains, depression, kidney stones. So we don't want to do that. If in doubt, ask your GP to kindly do a blood test for you for vitamin D and calcium. So that was vitamin D. Let us move on and talk about sad lamp. Do you know what I mean? In America, they call it happy lamp. I've just checked eBay, and on eBay, they call it therapy light, but I'm going to show you what I mean. And it's that. So, all that is a source of bright light. I've had my lamp for about 7 years. I use it most mornings, not in the summer because it's pretty bright then. And once you start using it, you know that it picks you up instantly. You just feel good. So it doesn't give you vitamin D, but it gives you those frequencies that we're missing, and it actually makes you feel happy. So that's why in America they call it a happy lamp. Please get one. On eBay, literally, you can get one for 20 quid and use it in the morning. You can't use it, you don't want to use it in the evening because it would suppress your melatonin, you wouldn't sleep. But if you use it in the morning for half an hour, for a few hours, depending on how much time you have, it will actually help you regulate your circadian rhythm, which means the waking and sleeping cycle. So it will actually improve your sleep in the evening, and it will improve your mood throughout the day. So try this out, it works. Now, the next item on the menu is actually getting outdoors and getting some natural sunshine. Even if you are older and you can't get out so much, just do what you can. Get out for half an hour. If you're young, get out a lot more and walk. Get out into nature. If you live in a city, get out of the city as often as you can. Do walking, because you are getting natural sunlight, and if you can do it with somebody, like with a friend, that is unbeatable, because this is my next item. Just hang out with your friends, because it feels good. You know what I mean? So a lot of the time we are depressed when we're isolated, and through this COVID time, you know what I mean by that. So it's really, really important to connect and spend quality time with our friends. And now I'm going to say something for those people who have been isolated during COVID time. Please reach out. If you don't have many friends just now, it's okay. Just reach out and make some friends. It does take courage, but it's so worth it. So I encourage you, just talk to people and make some friends. It is very doable, and it's never too late. I'm pretty sure of that. Now, let's talk about nourishing ourselves. In Anthroposophic medicine, we know that we have physical body, but we also know that we have energy, we have soul, and we have spirit. Pretty important to nourish our physical body. So eating lots of fruit, lots of veg, foods that are not processed, preferably lower in sugar, and not eating too much meat is also good. So it is a separate topic, but nourish your physical bodies, but also nourish yourselves emotionally. So this is when friends come in again. This is where your family comes in, and then nourish yourself spiritually. What does that mean? I would keep it super simple, and I would say, ask yourself a question: what inspires you in this life? For some people, it could be writing music. For somebody else, it could be drawing. Somebody else might be painting. Another person might be making discoveries, scientific discoveries. So please listen to yourself and find what it is. If you don't yet know, find what inspires you and do that. And try to dedicate more time for that, because this could be your guiding tune in life, if you like. I have not yet seen one person who would be doing what they're inspired to do who would be depressed. It's almost incompatible. So by default, when we're depressed, we're not following what inspires us. So switch your gears, switch your attention, look inside you and find what inspires you. Sometimes it could mean doing research out there and finding what inspires you in other people, in life. That could be good homework. If you haven't got your inspiration yet, look for it. It literally is so important. Very important. Right, I have one more tool for you, and that is a diary, writing in a diary. I'm not giving you anything I haven't tried. It's literally magical. If you feel overwhelmed, you feel low, and you start writing your diary, you feel better instantly. I don't know how it works, but it works. So write in your diary. And the other thing happens when you write in a diary, you start seeing patterns and you start understanding what happens to you. Which also leads me to yet another tool, and that is about finding meaning in life, finding meaning to all those different things that happen to us biographically. So I haven't yet met a person who hasn't got some trauma in life, and it can be a source of sadness. It is how trauma is. It's very sad because sad things happen to us from very early on, sometimes, you know, at birth. And our task is to find meaning to those parts of our biography. And of course, if you can afford a therapist, a good therapist, please, for God's sakes, find yourself a good therapist. If it doesn't feel right, don't carry on, because you have to find a therapist that you feel inspired to work with. So use your intuition as much as you can. Find an amazing therapist and work through your biography and find meaning. You know, there is this great guy. He is a Christian priest in the States. He's called Joel Osteen. And I love his saying. He says, "Turn your scars into stars." It's so gorgeous. It literally means that the source of our pain, like those traumas, once we understand them, once we find meaning, once we find how they served us, how they've helped us be who we are now, it becomes a source of bright light and inspiration. So I'm gonna leave you with this few things. I hope it has been helpful. If you want to ask a question, email me. If you want an appointment, email me. I'm sending you lots of love. Bye.